I think a lot of counselors have a difficult time adhering to the ACA Code of Ethics simply because we are human. It's human nature to desire people and to want relationships with people. In dealing with dual relationships, counselors can have weak moments and lapses of judgment just as anybody else can. I think a lot of times counselors are people who may have had not so good or bad situations that have happened to them at some point in their lives, and then they have a desire to help others because of that experience. And that can make a counselor out to be just as vulnerable as a client, and that can also open the door for counselors to violate the code of ethics in some way, either by opening up inappropriately to a client or making inappropriate advances to a client. The one thing that I think could help to have dual relationships happen less often is to simply educate counselors as to what appropriate relationships are, even after the counselor has started their practice or gone into the profession, and make it some kind of a requirement for practice. Continuous education is always the best key to reminding people what is appropriate and what is not appropriate, and it's kind of like continuing education. And most jobs have some kind of continue or training or continuing training that you have to do, so something like that for counselors would be appropriate. um, However, I think some people, regardless of what you do, how much you train them, how much you retrain them, some people are just going to have a personality where they abuse the power and the trust in a counselor-client relationship. And I think it's like that in every profession. You always see some people violating, doctors breaking the Hippocratic Oath, teachers breaking their own code of ethics and having relationships with students. There's always those instances where you have people that are going to do bad things regardless of how much training, how much education they have. And I just don't think that you can stop everybody from violating the code of ethics. So I feel like the biggest thing that you can do is just to educate people as much as you can continuously, and just in the hopes that they will make the right decision if a situation like that ever were to come up.